Councilmember CdeBaca.
Thank you. I'm going to do my comments on the whole package since this next half I'll be introducing and explaining the amendments. I want to contextualize my comments with two titles that we've sadly been given. We were named the second top gentrifying city in the country recently and the top city displacing Latinos in the country. Supporters of this bill have touted that this will provide a steady and modest supply of affordable housing. After fighting for a decade for an opportunity to make it mandatory that developers build what Denverites need, modest is hardly the approach we should be taking. The hole is just getting bigger and bigger, and AMI is increasing as our population shifts to higher income earners. Therefore, affordable is slipping farther and farther out of reach for more Denverites. The grace period we're giving for this to even kick in means that steady and modest impact will not even kick in fully for years. We've defined high-cost markets in a way that ignores areas most vulnerable to displacement. We're ignoring the high social costs of displacement identified by our own gentrification study, and we've ignored the pleas from community to apply a higher cost to areas where we have driven change on purpose and development disproportionately is affecting Black and brown families. This is a market-based tool. We've established that. Relying on the market so far hasn't served us very well, has it? We've been relying on the market to self-correct, and it has not corrected. Developers have not prioritized lower cost housing, despite that being the highest in demand. We fought for the ability to make mandates so that we didn't have to rely on developer generosity that was not manifesting at the needed levels. Yet here we are, essentially codifying the status quo. We've written a policy to uplift developer power while ignoring the city's greatest needs. None of this was written from the perspective of people who are houseless or rent overburdened. People are going to say that this is a good start, but that's not true. If the linkage fees are low, you can't even change this for years, and it doesn't actually solve the crisis we're facing. It's just virtue signal policy, which we're getting really comfortable with these days. Community has been involved, and many have pushed back only to be marginalized and overruled by the developers in the process. We heard that tonight. Best practices have been considered, and a whole study was completed to tell us what would be a maximum justifiable fee, and we ignored our own study of best practices and that maximum justifiable fee. Why did we pay for the study? The entire proposal is nothing more than a repeat of the abysmally low linkage fee passed in 2016 that has locked us into our current situation. Incentives for developers, linkage fees far below what data says we can justify. This developer sales pitch coming from our own planning department is real smooth. Sounds good. Took a long time, and yet does very little for the people worried about a roof over their heads. It lets us off the hook because now we can say we did something and wait another decade before doing anything else. It's sad and it's infuriating. This body doesn't need my vote to pass this bill tonight. Your minds are made up. They always are, well before the people speak. I too am still just a minority on this body. But the people out there, they need my vote tonight. They need it because they need to know that I see them, someone sees them, and understands this is smoke and mirrors, and we all deserve more than developer crumbs. I will not support these bills tonight because they are a slap in the face to a city expecting us to treat this housing crisis as a real crisis. If a modest approach to putting out a blazing fire is the best we can do, everyone in this city should be outraged rather than placated by tonight's vote. I'd like CPD to go back to the drawing board and put the most impacted people in the city first for a change, but that's unlikely to happen. So I'm not supporting this tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember CdeBaca.